Yeah, I'm JC, one of the co-founders of Movember, and pretty much someone told me the other day, it's like, millions of people have been growing moustaches for the last 11 years. And when you put that into, if Movember was a country, we'd sit up there with New Zealand, Ireland, Norway, and my favorite, Costa Rica. Because if we can move Movember, we should move it there. And one of my favorite quotes, and I thought, how can I segue this in? I thought, I'm just going to do it, is be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Oscar Wilde, absolute legend. If I could go back in time in history with a time machine, he's one of the first guys I'd go and look up. So basically, for me, if we could follow that quote, I reckon the world would be a lot less stressed, and I think we'd have a lot more fun. And that kind of segues in, which I just did, into my talk today, is having fun doing good. And that's pretty much what Movember's about. And it's one of our core values we live by, is having fun. It's pretty much, as Adam, one of the other co-founders, said last year, and I thought he coined it really well, it's our Trojan horse. And fun is our Trojan horse. And when you think about charity and you think about fun, they kind of don't go that well together. You've got charity, which is about adversity, it's about overcoming things, it's about relief. It's a very serious part of life. And then logically, when you put fun in there, it just doesn't fit. But Movember was founded on fun. Before we even started thinking about a charity, before we even started about foundations around the world and doing what we were doing, Movember's basis was about fun. And someone told me the other day that Movember's like the moustache mafia, because there's millions of you around the world. You get to do this thing for a month, then you disappear and you turn up again. So if that was the case, then two of the other founders, Trav and Luke, are pretty much the godfathers of the moustache of the next 10 years, because they started off in 2003 with a crazy challenge over a couple of beers and a Sunday session in Australia. That's pretty normal. A couple more beers come in and they talk about reoccurring trends and fashion. And that leads to, where did the moustache go? The moustache vanished. Our granddads had them, they were in fashion, they disappeared. Magnum PI had a great moustache. Think about history. You had Jimi Hendrix, classic moustache, Errol Flynn, through that process. So it turned into a dare, started with a joke, and then a challenge. And I remember getting my first email, and the subject line was, "Are you man enough to be my man?" And I thought, this is a bit nuts. What's going on with this? And I had a look at it, and it was this challenge to grow a moustache for 30 days. And I thought, yeah, I'm man enough to be your man. And 30 of us rocked up, grew moustaches, shaved down, had an incredible month. And the amount of conversation that happened over that 30 days was incredible. Why are you growing a moustache? What's going on? There was a lot of emotion involved with it, a lot of fun and a lot of bonding. So in 2004, 4 of us decided to, let's actually take this the next step further. And we aligned, obviously, the moustache with manly causes, so men's health. We took on prostate cancer as our core disease. At the time, it was killing a lot of men in Australia. It was one of the biggest killers. So we thought, why not? Let's attach it. We did an incredibly cool tagline, which is changing the face of men's health. And then we launched it out through our social network. And in 2004, our social networks weren't Facebook, weren't Twitter, weren't Instagram. These things just didn't exist. What did exist was our social networks, which was bars, beaches, pubs, barbecues, and hanging out with our mates. So we thought, let's send it out through the airways and see what happens. And we had 450 guys turn out that year and rock out some incredibly epic moustaches. And it really freaked a lot of people out. And we didn't think it would, but the guys in Australia, growing mows, first time, these guys are pretty much under 30 years old, rocking out these crazy moustaches. Friends, family, work colleagues, even strangers took effect at these moustaches growing. And we thought, well, hey, this is pretty cool. It was a month-long journey. Bizarre conversations came out of this, some really emotionally charged conversations because we were talking about men's health. And that year we'd raised 54,000 Australian dollars, and we thought, yeah, that's awesome. We gave it to Prostate Cancer Australia. At that time we didn't realise, but it was the single largest cheque they'd ever received, which we thought, wow, this is crazy, because this is one of the biggest diseases that are killing men in the country. It is pretty much highly, if you detect it early and you get it treated, it's highly, you can go through that, it's highly preventable through that process. So we could literally have a game-changing effect on the mortality rates of one of the biggest diseases that wasn't getting looked at. So we came off the back of that month pretty pumped. And we thought, hey, we've made it, this is cool, 54,000 Australian dollars, we're there, we're largest funders for men's health, for prostate cancer at the time. And we had a whole bunch of guys that had just come off the back of a campaign who for the first time had talked about men's health. They had had an incredible bonding experience of growing moustaches, because if you haven't grown a moustache for 30 days, it's hard to tell, but you've got that nod as you walk past and the guy's growing a mo, and you kind of bond through that experience. And then you're talking about it. And, we had a whole bunch of guys who were telling, the men in their life, you need to go and get, checked, prostate cancer, their dads, their granddads through that process. And they really, attached themselves to that. And then we had this other side of the coin, which was there was so much apathy and disinterest in this one disease that was affecting millions of people across the world. And literally families were dealing with this. And when we saw these two together, we thought, this is awesome. We can roll this out. So many more people will want to get involved with this. We can teach people about men's health, and it's a real game changer. So in hindsight, looking back, what we'd started was, we had hundreds of guys growing moustaches under the age of 30. So these early adopters were kind of changing the face of fashion, for good and bad reasons. And second, we had walking, talking billboards, and we call our moustaches our ribbon. And this is pretty much what it is. And it's real mo's talking about real issues for real men and dealing with those issues. So we had walking, talking billboards that guys just couldn't help. Oh, I'm growing a moustache. This is what I'm doing it for. So from that point forward, we looked back and we want 2004 and 2003 brought us, one of the highest fundraisers for prostate cancer. We had guys talking about their health, and we thought, this is really super cool. So Movember from that point on just exploded. From that, we kind of went through crazy processes, and Movember was all about having fun. So we thought, well, okay, we're not PC, we're not charity guys, so with our creative, let's continue to have some cool fun with it. So I remember back, out of all the campaigns, 2005, we said, let's kick cancer in the ass. And we thought, cool, prostate cancer, it works. It's a good tongue-in-cheek thing to go in. And let me tell you, putting ass on a poster, just the word, not a picture of one, sent HR directors off the chain. We had guys going, Movember, they won't let us grow in Movember, they can't have us on a poster, HR people ripping the poster down in the lunchrooms, Mobros putting them up, getting in early. We heard about posters being in bathrooms so the HR lady couldn't see them. And it just went nuts, and it was hilarious. And 2007, we decided to get really deep with our campaign, and we did Mo Man as an Island. And I thought, oh, this is cool, it's dark, a man can't be an island, he needs to talk about his health, we need to have those shoulder-to-shoulder conversations, you need to get out there, don't be an island about your health, get out there, join everyone else, and have a good chat about it. So we thought, this is deep, this is dark, so Trav, one of the other founders with the urchins, drew this incredible island which looked like a moustache. We put it on the poster and we sent it out. We thought, this is going to be deep, this is going to be awesome, kind of tongue-in-cheek in it. And we started getting these emails back. That's an awesome island. Where is it? Well, it doesn't exist. You guys live on that island. We know you live on that island. We know there's parties on that island. We want to come to this island. It's like, no, the island doesn't exist. Why are you holding out on us? Like, these emails were like incredible, and just to have fun with a bit of creative. So for us, that was really cool. And then what happened from that point is guys just weren't growing moustaches anymore. They were actually starting to create their own content for us. And they were sending it out in the airways. And we wouldn't see these, we wouldn't approve these. We would just see this crazy stuff happen, and someone would send us this crazy content that a guy was using to help him create and generate awareness and funds for Movember. And I thought today is a really good, I was gonna slice down some examples. There's so much content. We sliced it down, and you have to see it to believe it. So we're going to play the video now, which would be awesome.
Did you know that every time you shave, a mustache dies? Doesn't have to be that way. See you in Movember.
We clawed, we chained our hearts in vain. We jumped, never asking why.
Last year I tried but I failed. Halfway through the month I bailed. Watched the hair wash down the drain and I felt so ashamed. But it wasn't growing, bum fluff, skin was showing, taking shape very slowly. But this year it's ours for the taking. Okay, we can do this, it should be easy. This Movember, we won't be shaving.
True flavor can only be achieved when tasted through a moustache. A moustache is nature's doggy bag.
Maybe it's my mustache.
So, you could sit for days and watch this stuff, and this was down. We got that down to a minute, which was crazy. But yeah, a lot of guys are out there having so much fun with this, which is just incredibly humbling and incredibly cool for us. And they really get having fun doing good is really one of the ethoses of why they're doing this stuff. And you know, they create billions of conversations now thanks to social media, and that's saving lives and changing the game. It's getting guys to talk about their health, which is incredibly hard, and now they've had a platform to do it. They've got out there and raised us over £400 million since we started this crazy journey 11 seasons ago. And that's fueling 850 different programs around the world with men's health. It's fast-tracking survivorship stuff. It's fast-tracking research to really change the game for men around the world when it's dealing with their health. So for us, you know, we are so humbled and privileged to be able to watch this take place and roll out. We were just, you know, from some crazy conversation that two of my mates had in a bar to the chain reaction that turns into this has just been incredible. So for me, the lessons we've kind of learned from Movember, and we are still learning every day, is that we get to see these incredible experiences and these incredible stories from people who are really changing the face of men's health. It's not us, it's them doing these incredible things for us. And I guess some lessons is two guys in a bar on a Sunday afternoon, let me tell you, is a good thing. That can turn into a chain of events that can change the world. Two, getting guys to actually relax and have a bit of fun with their health can lead to openness, which wasn't happening. And I was at a Movember event a couple of seasons ago in this country, up north, and this guy had been growing a moustache for us for the last 5 years. Epic, went through the story. All of a sudden we're in this bar, he's unzipped his pants, got out his testicle, and goes, "Do you think I've got a lump?" And I'm like, dude, I'm not a doctor. It's really cool you're sharing, but you got to pick your moments. So we had to talk down the bouncers. Look, it's for men's health, it's fine. He's going to see a doctor tomorrow. Hopefully, you know, he'll get around that. And for us, it's about looking at it's looking at health through the male lens. And that's really important to us, and it always has been. That's why our tagline's changed the face of men's health. And we're about the whole man at Movember and making sure guys can open up and really talk about it. And it's that shoulder-to-shoulder conversation, that example, that really helps. And it gets guys to break down that barrier and talk about their health. So for me, does fun change lives? And has it changed lives? And last year, thanks to Facebook, which started when we started, so you know it's interesting to see that journey go around with social media and how big it gets, and does it actually help and change lives? And I got an email from a 21-year-old kid who was doing Movember, and he was having fun with it. He'd gone through and looked at the stats. He'd found a lump on his testicle. He went to a doctor, had advanced testicular cancer. Within the week, got his testicle removed. He was going through chemo and sent us an email about how we'd helped change his life, obviously, and go through that process of survivorship, which just blew us away. And we get loads of these different emails. So a bit of fun can and always will help, you know, change the face of men's health. So the takeouts Fun can unlock conversations, it can change behavior, and it can change people to do great stuff. One of our, we have very hardcore values at Movember, and one of them is fun. It sits at the top of the totem pole. And, two guys in a pub can have a chain reaction that'll help change the world through fun, which we've done, and it's just been incredible on that ride. For me, you have to be completely passionate about what you're doing. You have to have a sole belief in who you are and what's going on, as we've seen today. And back to the quote, it's you. Everyone else is taken. So everyone has a good idea. So you should, for me, get in there, have that challenge. Don't be afraid, get in there and do it. Because the last 11 years has felt like 11 minutes for me. And we've had so much fun. We've seen so many great stories come out of Movember. And we get to wake up every day with 500 million people like-minded to us who get to change the world a little bit. Thank you. I've been JC.